Namaskar. Today is May 7th, 2026. Welcome to day 55 of Satvik Yogi Path. Each year on March 14 begins my 100-day journey in returning to the essence of yoga in celebration of International Day of Yoga on June 21st. This year I chose to revisit Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra and share my daily practices inspired by it. Yesterday, Maharishi Patanjali named 5 kleśas, and these are Avidyā, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesh. But today is a very important day, day 55, Yoga Sūtra 2.4. Today, Maharishi Patanjali reveals the source of the root causes of all sufferings. So, Yoga Sutra 2.4 says that it is avidya, misunderstanding. It is avidya, the field from where all the klesh arise. Whether the klesh are weakened or whether it is fully active or whether it is dormant or it is interrupted. But from avidya, all the klesh arise. So let us quickly recite Yoga Sutra 2.4. Avidya kshetram uttaresham prasut tanu vichinno udaranam. So let's recite it once again. Avidya kshetram uttaresham prasuptatanu vichinna udaranam. Now, first of all, let's break it down word by word. Avidya, misunderstanding, misperception. Kshetram, the field, the ground. Uttaresham, of the others. Prasupt, dormant. Tanu, thinned or weakened. Vichinna, interrupted. Udar, which is fully active. So, Yoga Sutra 2.4. Today, Maharishi Patanjali reveals the source of the root causes of all sufferings, and that is avidya, misunderstanding. Avidya is a fundamental misunderstanding of reality. It is a confusion between the changing and the unchanging, the seen and the seer, the temporary and the eternal, the roles we play and the one who plays them. So, when this misunderstanding is present, the other klesh grows. The other klesh, asmita, that is ego, rag, that is attachment, dvesh, aversion, and abhinivesh, fear. So, avidya is the fundamental misunderstanding of reality, and it is the field from where all the klesh grows. Again, avidya is the field in which all other klesh exist in four states: dormant, weakened, interrupted, and fully active. Maharishi Patanjali is teaching us something profound. The klesh or the afflictions of the mind do not appear just randomly. They grow in the field of avidya. They grow in the field of misunderstanding. When avidya or the misunderstanding is strong, the other klesh afflictions become strong. When avidya weakens, the other klesha, the other afflictions weaken. When avidya dissolves, the other klesh afflictions dissolve. This is why yoga focuses on clarity, because clarity dissolves misunderstanding at the root. So here is the analogy that I can share: analogy of the soil and the weeds. If the soil is fertile, weeds grow. If the soil dries, the weeds weaken. If the soil changes, the weeds disappear. Maharishi Patanjali says that avidya is the soil and the klesh, the afflictions, are the weeds. So the field, avidya is the field, misunderstanding is the field. That's the source of the root causes of sufferings. Avidya is not ignorance in the ordinary sense, it is the basic confusion of identity, mistaking the changing from the unchanging. When this confusion softens, the mind becomes lighter, clearer, and more open. When the root softens, so avidya is the root of the root. Avidya is the root of the root causes of the sufferings. So when the root softens, everything connected to the root softens. So, what are we practicing today? But before I move on, I'd like to give a shout out to Kapil Kumar YK6XX. Hello, Kapil. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. This is my so every March 14 begins my 100-day journey in returning to the essence of yoga, and in celebration of International Day of Yoga on June 21st. Each year I do this. But this year I chose to revisit Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra. And today I am, it is Yoga Sūtra 2.4, which means it's the day 55 and chapter 2, Yoga Sūtra 4th. So this is the fourth Yoga Sutra from chapter 2. I mean, this is incredible that people have been joining, showing up. That's simply incredible. And it is so interesting to learn that the root causes of the suffering. Yesterday we learned the five klesh: avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. And today Maharishi Patanjali reveals the source of the afflictions of the mind, which is avidya, misunderstanding. So, what are we practicing today? Today, our practice is one that we notice one klesh. Out of the five klesh, we notice one klesh. Is it ego, identity? Is it fear? Is it aversion? Is it attachment? So we notice one klesh and then we ask gently, what misunderstanding is feeding this? The klesh, the affliction of the mind, what misunderstanding is feeding this? And then let the breath soften the pattern. And then we practice our Om, the O, the Ma, the vibration as we practiced before. And then we finish our practice with Bhavna on the root, contemplation on the root. And the root is Avidyā, misunderstanding. So let us get on with our stillness practice. And the first one we would do, as always, is sit and settle our breath. I'll take my glasses off. So sit with your back and spine straight and your chin slightly tucked in. Roll your shoulder if you have to, a little. Your chest opens up. And with the smile on your face, place one hand gently on your navel. And now just breathe just by observing it. So we take 3 breaths. And the next, we breathe with awareness. And we breathe with awareness, placed the hand lightly over your navel, your back and spine straight, and your chin tucked in. Now you breathe with awareness. And the third. Now we move on and we equalize our breath. We equalize our breath. So first one, we just observe our breath. We don't do anything. We don't judge it that I'm breathing fast, I'm breathing slow. So we are not judging. We are just observing. And the next, we breathe with awareness in the present. We breathe with awareness. And then now we equalize our breath. And remember, we are breathing from the, so let it softly rise and fall on navel. And that's why we have one hand placed gently over your navel. Nabhi. So let's do this. We do it again. We equalize it with 3 breaths cycle. And you may count. I will count to 2 for inhalation and equalize with 2 exhalation. So let's do it. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2. And the last, breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2. And open your eyes. And now you equalized your breath. Now we would increase the count in our exhalation from the number of counts in our inhalation. So what I would rather do, I would count to, if you count to 3, I would just double my exhalation. If you count 2, your exhale would be 4. If you count 3 in inhalation, your exhale would be 6. So I just maybe a little bit of um, shortcut, make it shorter. So I would just count to 2 and my exhalation would be 4. So let's do it. Back and spine straight. Roll your shoulder if you have to, chin slightly tucked in, and your glowing face smiling with the smile. I count to 2. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. The last. Breathe in, 2. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just stay like that. And open your eyes. So now our breath is all settled. So now we notice one klesh. One klesh that is going on currently in my life. So let's see what is that. So I'll just notice one klesh. Notice. Don't be judgmental about it, just like how you just observed your breath. So just notice one klesh. And this klesh could be attachment. This klesh could be aversion. This klesh could be fear, ego, or any confusion currently you have. So you would just notice if you have it. So again, back and spine straight. Focus on your breath. And now you notice what is going on in at the present moment. You would just notice one klesh. Is it some kind of fear, confusion, attachment, ego, aversion? So just notice one. So, for example, in my life, at present, it is attachment. So, I noticed one klesh. Remember, klesh is the root cause of our sufferings, the afflictions of our mind. So, attachment is the klesh I noticed. So, once you've noticed the klesh, for me it is attachment currently. Now, I would ask myself, what misunderstanding is feeding this klesh? And you ask yourself, what misunderstanding is feeding this klesh? What misunderstanding is feeding this klesh of attachment, rag? So just ask yourself, because that is the root of the root cause. Misunderstanding, avidya, is the root, is the source of the klesh. And then once you have asked yourself, what misunderstanding is feeding this affliction? And now you, with your settled breath, you would soften the source. And how you would do it? Breathe in, breathe out. But remember that that pattern, which is attachment, due to, if I found the answer, what misunderstanding is feeding this klesh, now I would every time I would just come to the center, my navel. I would breathe in, let me breathe in. And be in my present moment. So every time you bring your focus to your navel, to the present, the affliction softens, the misunderstanding softens. And now we practice with Om as we practiced before. That rises in the belly. O that moves through the chest, and the vibration that softens on your lips. So that is how we are going to jump. We are going to soften the misunderstanding and reach towards clarity. So let's do it 3 times. Gentle repetition of Om. It's optional. You can just watch or you can just take part. So breathe in, breathe out, and then take a deep breath in and Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. Take a deep breath in. And the last. Take a deep breath in. And stay like that. Gently open your eyes. And now, last but not the least, bhavna, contemplation. So the contemplation is when the root softens, the pattern softens. So in the contemplation, is that when the root softens, the pattern softens. So that brings us to the end of our stillness practice. Day 55 teaches us that all suffering has a root. All suffering has a root, the source, and the root is misunderstanding. When the root softens, everything connected to it softens. So it is very important that the root of the root causes, or we can say the root of the root, must be softened. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you for showing up every day, practicing with me. We meet again tomorrow. Until then, stay warm, stay open, and most importantly, with your smile on your face, stay honest to your own story. Thank you.